If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. And if you're interested in hearing about my thoughts on Livewire, then make sure you stick around till the end. So today I want to go ahead and finish up this to-do list. If you haven't seen the first part of this small series that we have for the Livewire to-do list, I would highly recommend that you go back and watch that first part so that you're all caught up on everything that we've done up until this point. There are a couple of things that I want to fix. We set up this input to have validation as we type, and it doesn't. What we need to do is head into the text editor, and if we go to our app, HTTP, Livewire, add to-dos, all we need to do in here is put a pipe, and we'll do a minimum of 5. Okay, so that'll make that validation do what it's expected to do. So let's go back and refresh. If we type in here now, we'll get that validation. Okay, the to-do must be at least 5 characters. Fantastic. And then, of course, we have our other validation too, so if it's empty, we'll also get a validation error for that. The to-do field is required. Fantastic. So let's head back into the text editor and close that, and let's open up the all to-dos. After I posted the video, I noticed that in our all to-dos, where we're calling the listener, I have it here as a public listener, and it really should be protected because this should only be available within this one component, this to-do added function that we have here. So now, let's get started on editing these to-dos. What's supposed to happen here is if we click this, it's supposed to open up and turn into an input field where we'll be able to edit that. So we have to make a few changes, and we have to add some new things to this all to-dos component. Let's close up add to-dos, and then in here, we need to change this public to-dos property, and we need to make it an array. So since that is now an array, this mount function that we have here, the to-dos equals to-do latest get, we need to change this to get to array. And then for our render, we need to now pass that in. And again, as I said, because we've changed what kind of property it is, this is why we need to put it in here this way. Normally, because we didn't have it like that before, we didn't need to, but we do now. To-dos equals this to-dos. We need to now set 2 new properties. Basic idea of them is to target the index and manipulate the field. What we're going to do is public edited to-do index, and then we are going to set that to null, and then we can copy paste this, and the next one is going to be field, and that's also going to be null. We are targeting the index in order to manipulate the field. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through this. Now we need some functions in order to make that work. First one, we are going to say public function edit to do. When we get to the blade file, we'll be also adding a wire model. If you don't know what that is, then go check out the first part and then you'll have a better idea of what that is. But essentially, it's like vModel in Vue.js. So in here, we're going to pass in the to-do index, and we will be grabbing that from the blade file. So we'll say this edited to-do index equals to-do index. The next one is going to be public function edit to-do field. And let me bring this up. Okay, so now here we're going to pass in the to-do index, and we're also going to pass in the field name. And in here we're going to say this edited to-do field equals to-do index, and then we're going to concatenate the field name. So once we get to our blade file, we'll be passing in this field name. We're going to concatenate it with the index in order to be able to identify it, and then we're going to be able to manipulate it. So the function itself, we will call public function save to do. This is what we will use to actually save it once it's been manipulated. So in here, we'll say to do index, and then down here, we are going to create a variable, and we're going to say to do equals this to dos, and then we're going to pass in the to do index, and then we're going to say it'll either be that or it'll be null. Then we're going to say if not is null, then we're going to pass in the to do, and then we're going to make it optional. We're going to pass in the to do here, and then we're going to find to do by its ID, and then we're going to update the to do. Now, after we do that, we have to go back and reset the edited to do index and the edited to do field because we've manipulated it. We have to set it back. So this edited to do field equals null, and then the index will also be null. So now let's go ahead to the all to do's blade file and make those changes in here so that we can edit that. This for each, it'll be to do's as index equals to do. And a lot of this that we're doing here, we are actually leveraging Alpine.js in order to be able to make this work. And now here we're going to say if edited to do index equals index, or edited to do field equals index item. Remember, once again, we are editing that field and we are attaching the index to the field name. Okay, so that's what we're looking for when we say this and if. In here, we're going to put an input, bring this down, and then we're going to say add click away. So when we click away from the input, it'll equal wire edited to do field equals. We need some single quotes. We'll open up some curly brackets and we'll say index item. If the wire edited field equals the index item, then we are either going to trigger the save to do function. If we're doing that, then we need to pass in the index. And if we're not, we're just going to leave it as null. We're going to have at key down enter equals wire save to do. So when we press enter, this is when we'll trigger the save to do function as well. Okay, so we'll say index. And now after all of that is said and done, we need to wire this up using the model. We're going to have it defer, which means it's not going to do anything until we either click away or we click enter. That's what that defer is doing. This way we don't get too many AJAX requests. Okay, and here we'll put index and then index item, which is exactly what it is we are passing to this component right in here. This is the edit to do field. Fantastic. We also need another if. We need in here else. We'll do that in a bit. But here we'll say if errors, because we're going to need our validation as to-dos index item, then we need to have something to display those. Class of text red 500. And then we're going to grab the errors first, to-dos index item. If and if, and then let's go ahead and also tackle this else. If we are not in edit mode, basically that's what this if statement is up here, then we can go ahead and display the item. Now we need to change this to item, and then we also need to add our function in here. So we're going to say wire click equals edit to do field. We're going to pass in the index, and we're also going to pass in the item. Edit it. And if we take a look at our all to do's, we already made that function, which is this edit to do field. We're passing in the index, also passing in the field name, and then we are making the edited to do field this value. So now let's go ahead, refresh, and see if that works. Let's go ahead and try the first one. We have our input and we have some kind of error in here. So let's go back and take a look at that blade file. Okay, we need to move this into the if else statement, and let's try it again and see what happens. Go back, refresh. Let's go ahead and click it again. Cool, so we have our input and we actually should be able to save it now. And if we refresh the page, it should also still be there. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and add our validation. Go back to the all to do's. We already have the errors here. And then we'll do it like we did before. In the add to do's, we'll say protected rules equal an array. And then here's where it gets a little bit different. We'll say to do's dot star item, because remember we're passing things in with the index. So we need to have that little gap in there to basically take whatever value we're passing in. And we just want to make sure it's required. And a minimum of 5. Protected validation attributes. And then this one will be to-dos star item equal to do. Now if we come down to the save to do, all we need to do now in here is just say this validate. So there are a couple of different ways to do the validation. I guess it's, you know, it's pretty much the same as it is with Laravel. It is Laravel, so it's pretty much the same. Let's go back, refresh, and now if we try to click the first one, let's say we get rid of everything in there and press enter. To-do field is required. Right above the to-do added, we can do public function delete to-do. We're going to pass in the index, and then we're going to say to-do equals this to-do's to-do index. Okay, and we'll also add an optional. We'll do to-do find by to-do ID. Then all we need to do now is delete the to-do. In order to reset, because now we have to reset the to-dos again, in order to make it update in real time, we need to say this to-dos equals to-do. Matter of fact, we can just take this one and copy it. And this will reset all those to-dos. So now let's head back to the all to-dos blade file. And that button that we have, we can do wire click. Let's do prevent so that the page does not refresh, because apparently this magic is still JavaScripty. So delete to-do index. Okay, that seems legit. Let's go back, refresh. And now let's go ahead and try to delete the first one. Ah, okay, cool. So it did work. Yeah, we're all updated. Let's refresh, make sure it doesn't show its face again. Very good. It is gone, 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 gone. So let's go ahead and work on this complete function as well. Let's head back to that all to-dos. This delete to-do, we can actually just copy it and then make some changes. So copy, paste, and here we'll say complete to-do. We still need to pass in the to-do index. We still need to create a to-do variable. Optional to-do find, delete. We need to change to update. In here, we need to change completed to 1, because remember in our migration, database migrations, okay, we have a completed field where we are automatically setting it to 0. So all of these ones that we have in here, they're just all of them listed. We'll adjust that a little bit later, but they all essentially have a completed of 0. Okay, so let's close that. And now those zeros we are going to change to 1. The to-dos, where we're grabbing the latest and then we're setting them to an array. So now we need to head into the all to-dos and add that function. So in here, we'll just copy this one and we'll paste it in here. It's the same thing. We just need to change the function name. Complete to-do. Let's go back and refresh and see if we can not break anything. Okay, so this new to-do that we just created a little while ago, let's go ahead and click complete and it should disappear from this list. Well, actually, no, it doesn't because we're displaying everything. Let's go and fix that. Okay, to all to-dos. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this from the top to the bottom. For our mount, we are getting the latest, but we also need to say where, because this is our all to-dos component. We'll make another one for completed. And in here, we'll say completed is 0. Let's grab this, and then we can change them all at once. The other one is here, where after we complete it, we want to update that. Also, when we delete it, and this way we'll get all of the completed ones. Let's go back, refresh, and now that to-do should be gone. Cool, so let's try this go to sleep one. We'll click complete. Fantastic. And now our entire list has been updated, and we are now just displaying the to-dos to do. Let's go ahead and work on this completed to-do stuff. Let's open up our terminal. PHP artisan. Now we can do it 2 ways. I found out you can do it make Livewire, or you can do, that's what we've been doing, the make Livewire, but you can also do Livewire make, and this will call it complete to-dos. So let's drop this. Let's open up this complete to-dos, and let's also open up the blade file for it. This way we have them both at once. So complete to-do, complete to-do. Now to make sure we're getting that, let's go to the welcome blade and add that component. And we can close this now. So we want to put them under the all to-dos. And let's uncomment this one. Let's see what it says. Do your work, then step back. I know I saw the list for where these things are, but I can't remember where they are. They show up randomly when you generate these things. So do your work, then step back. Fantastic. Our component is coming through. We can go ahead and close our welcome blade. We can actually grab, let's just grab everything from in here. Well, not this thing. Yeah, screw it. We'll bring everything over and then we'll change it accordingly. Complete to-dos. We'll add them to the top of this one. Let's input this so we can get rid of some of the errors. Okay, from the top to the bottom. So this to-do added, we are going to have a similar function called to-do completed. We'll make a bit later. Just know that it's the same thing as it is in the all to-dos except for the completed. To completed, we have our validation. Okay, so now we're looking where completed is 1. Okay, the edit to-do and the edit to-do field are the same. Save to-do index, validate. Okay, so this is all the same. Instead of complete to-do, we'll say incomplete to-do. Passing in the to-do index, same thing. And now we're completed. We are going to change to 0. Delete to-do, this to-do, completed 0, it should be 1. It was to-do completed, will now be to-do completed. And we also need to add this thing. Now let me make sure that in our to-dos added that I have that, which I do not. Let's go ahead and fix that. And this should be 0. Completed to-dos. Okay, and now for here, we can just grab this, put it in here, and get rid of this, and that should get rid of all the errors that we have in here. Let's head over to the blade file. We can copy all of this and just adjust it accordingly because it's going to be the exact same thing, just with completed to-dos. So let's go up and start from there. So to-dos done. Okay, to-dos is to-do, edited index. Since the functions are the same, these are the same. And the buttons, it will be incomplete to-do. This will say, probably could have come up with some better names, but here we are. Incomplete, and delete to-do is the same. Fantastic. So now let's go back to the browser and see what we've broken. Refresh. We have our to-dos done, and our to-dos not so done. So let's try to change this one. Okay, so it's gone from here, but it is not shown up for here. This means that we need a new listener because we have 2 different components right here, and we need one to talk to the other. Now, if we go ahead and refresh, I bet you that we'll have a to-dos done in here, a brand new one. Right now we only have 2, we should have 3. Go ahead and refresh again, and there we have 3. So let's go ahead and take care of that event. Go back to the text editor, and in this completed to-dos, we have a function where we're basically returning the brand new array. We go up top, we are listening to this function, and we are defining it down here, but this function actually has to come from somewhere. This function is coming from this all to-dos, or it should. Essentially, whenever we complete the to-do, we need to emit this function. This emit to-do completed. I hope that's clear. When we are completing the to-do, we are going to emit this event, which is to-do completed. This event is being listened to by the complete to-dos component, which, first of all, we're defining up top. We're listening for it. We're defining it here, and then we are actually creating it down here. Let's give this a try and make sure we didn't break that. So now let's click this one at the bottom. Where did it go? Right here. And again, it's being listed by the latest. So let's try one that we make ourselves. Do this, enter. Okay, so it shows up here. Go ahead and complete it. That updates, and then this updates. Fantastic. So now we need to do the inverse for the completed. Let's go back. And now where we have this incomplete to do, we can emit an event. We'll say this, emit incomplete to do. So now we're emitting incomplete to do, which means we need to listen for it in our all to dos. So let's go up top. And we already have to do added, so we'll just add it up here. incomplete to do. And now let's go and actually create that function. Put it under here. We can actually copy this one back to all to-dos, and we'll go ahead and paste that in. You know, I think I want to change this to do incompleted, and to-dos where completed equals 0. To do incompleted. Let's change that up here. On our complete to-dos, to do incompleted. Yeah, I definitely could have named all of that a lot better. Anyway, let's go back, refresh, try it all again. We'll change this one to complete. Okay, so that's gone from here. It shows up here. We click incomplete. It shows up right back up here. Okay, and of course I messed up something with the refactoring because now we're getting them in both lists. To do and to do's done, they're identical. So let's go to all to do's. This to do completed is 1. All to do's. Okay, so all of these completed should be 0, and in our completed, these should all be 1. I see it. We're returning 0 when we're doing the incomplete to-dos. So let's go ahead and change that to 1, and I think that should be good. Let's go back, try to refresh. Lists are being displayed appropriately. Let's go ahead and try to create a new one. That shows up where it's supposed to. This list is fine. Go ahead and click complete. Okay, so that's gone from there. It's added to here. We'll change it back to incomplete. And now it's back up here. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and delete it, make sure that that works. And then let's also try to delete this one and make sure that that works. Fantastic. So if you've made it this far with me, congratulations, because this was intense. As you can see, you really can do a lot with Livewire built onto Laravel, and we did very, very little JavaScript, and there wasn't really any refreshes when we did anything. Everything was updated, everything can be edited. So that can be edited before I go. Cool. Refresh and make sure that that's still there. Fantastic. YouTube has a way of sometimes deleting comments. Someone sent me a comment, and as far as YouTube's concerned, it doesn't exist. However, I did receive it in my email, and I don't know if the person actually deleted it on their own. I don't know if YouTube deleted it. I thought it was a very valuable question and just sort of an overall experience that someone's had. So I'm not going to put your name, your face, or anything like that because I don't know if you deleted it intentionally, if you didn't want it out there. But I do think that it was a very valuable statement that you made in terms of your experiences with Livewire. Partly what you were saying here was that, you know, you used it, you tried it, and you found yourself using vanilla JavaScript more often because it reduced some of the server requests that you were having when you were using Livewire. And yeah, I do think that there's a lot of there's a lot of magic going on, and it's constantly trying to make sure that it's updated all the time, every time. And that could be a little oppressive to your project. And I do get that. However, there are things that kind of counteract that. So, for instance, when we were doing the inputs, okay, we were using vModel. Take a look at this one. We're using, not vModel, I keep saying vModel and it's not, it's wire model. This model defer, this allowed us to make the input and only make the request when we said make the request. So there are other things that you can attach to this model. You can attach the bounce, you can attach lazy, and there's like one or two others. I really don't remember, but that's one way. And the other way is that if you look at when we mounted the to-dos, okay, if you're using Eloquent, you can also sort of reduce some of those requests that you're making to the database. And I think that I will probably start using debug bar more in my tutorials in order for us to make sure that we're not making too many requests when we are making our requests, because that is something that's very important to and could be potentially a problem. I didn't find that in this project, but you've used it and you've used it in other things, so you would have a better idea of that than I didn't run into that problem at all. I don't know what could have been that was the case, but yeah, that's definitely something to be aware of. And the other thing that you said that I wanted to sort of speak on was that you said that Livewire is a great stepping stone to the concepts of Vue. And on some extent, I do agree with that. However, again, it's magic. That's always the answer with Livewire. Everything that I've looked in, even listening to the creator of Livewire, the word that he uses more often than not is magic. That's his answer for everything. The problem with all of the magic is that you kind of lose how it works. If you have no experience with any kind of JavaScript at all, let alone a framework, you may not know what to look for if something breaks. That would be very unfortunate. I mean, if you're doing your own project, absolutely. Use whatever you want to use. If Livewire floats your boat, fantastic. If you don't want to ever learn JavaScript, use Livewire. Let's say you're working for someone. Okay, they may not want to use Livewire. Livewire only, as far as I'm aware, is only attached to Laravel. If you're using Vue.js, you can obviously use any other front end that you want to use with Laravel. But I do think that I think that there's so much magic that it kind of gets lost, and Vue would kind of make things way more complex. I think that a stepping stone to learning Vue, the stepping stone to learning React, the stepping stone to learning any sort of JavaScript framework is to learn JavaScript. Just like using Laravel, the stepping stone to learning Laravel is really to learn PHP. If you don't have that, then it's going to be that much harder for you to be able to grasp those concepts. If you do study those things first, at least it won't be as complicated. And the magic, it sort of takes the magic out of the magic, or it makes you appreciate the magic more, I should say. Because for me, I appreciate the magic of Livewire. However, I could see that somebody learning would be overwhelmed by the magic of Livewire if they have to use something else down the road. So that's just my little spin on it. You guys have probably clicked off by now, but that is something that I wanted to say. I'm going to leave it there. So I want to thank you for contributing that, because that was really helpful. Even though you're anonymous as far as we're all concerned right now. I know who you are though. But if you guys have made it this far, thanks for watching. I'm going to push all this stuff up to GitHub, and I will see you guys next time.